Chapter 1 of David Elginbrod. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. David Elginbrod by George MacDonald. And gladly would he learne, and gladly teach. Chaucer. To the memory of Lady Noel Byron, this book is dedicated, with a love stronger than death. Book I. Turriepuffit. With him there was a ploughman, was his brother, a true swinker, and a good was he, living in peace and perfect charity. God loved he best with all his true heart, and alle times, were it gain or smart, and then his neighbour right as himself. Chaucer. Prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Chapter 1. The Fir-wood. Of all the flowers in the mead, then love I most these flowers white and redde, such that men callen daisies in our town. I runne blythe, as soon as ever the sun ginneth west, to see this flower how it will go to rest. For fear of night, so hateth she darkness, her cheer is plainly spread in the brightness of the sunne, for there it will unclose. Chaucer. Prologue to the Legend of Good Women. Meg, where are ye gane that get, like a wool shuttle? Come into the book. Meg's mother stood at the cottage door, with arms akimbo and clouded brow, calling through the boles of a little forest of fir trees after her daughter. One would naturally presume that the phrase she employed, comparing her daughter's motions to those of a shuttle that had gone wool, or lost its way, implied that she was watching her as she threaded her way through the trees. But although she could not see her, the fir-wood was certainly the likeliest place for her daughter to be in, and the figure she employed was not in the least inapplicable to Meg's usual mode of wandering through the trees, that operation being commonly performed in the most erratic manner possible. It was the ordinary occupation of the first hour of almost every day of Margaret's life. As soon as she woke in the morning, the fir-wood drew her towards it, and she rose and went. Through its crowd of slender pillars she strayed hither and thither, in an aimless manner, as if resignedly haunting the neighbourhood of something she had lost, or, hopefully, that of a treasure she expected one day to find. It did not seem that she had heard her mother's call, for no response followed, and Janet Elginbrod returned into the cottage, where David, of the same surname, who was already seated at the white deal table with the book, or large family Bible, before him, straightway commenced reading a chapter in the usual routine from the Old Testament, the New being reserved for the evening devotions. The chapter was the 40th of the prophet Isaiah, and as the voice of the reader re-uttered the words of old inspiration, one might have thought that it was the voice of the ancient prophet himself, pouring forth the expression of his own faith in his expostulations with the unbelief of his brethren. The chapter finished, it is none of the shortest, and Meg had not yet returned. The two knelt, and David prayed thus: O thou who holdest the waters in the hollow of a hand, and carriest the lambs of thy own making in thy bosom with the other hand, it would be altogether unworthy of thee and of thy majesty of love to require of us that which thou knowest we cannot bring unto thee, until thou enrich us with that same. Therefore, like thine own bairns, we bow down afore thee, and pray that thou wouldst take thy will of us, thy holy and perfect and blessed will of us, for, O God, we are thine own. And for oor lassie, what's oot among the trees, and what we dinna think forgets her Maker, though she may whiles forget her prayers, Lord, keep her a bonny